Hola! ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Or should we say namaste? Should we say namaste?
Namaste.
Namaste. We'll say it at the end, too. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, the 239 Spiritual Awakening Podcast. Man, it seems like it's been forever since we've been in here, and it's remodeled.
Change, huh?
Man, Icy done flipped it up and flipped us on the other side, man. So now we don't have the marijuana flag in the background no more. I know some of y'all missed that, but we got You Can Smoke With Us and Smile Bitch. So, you know, we got a couple other little slangs going around. But just don't worry about that. Anyway, so.
It's all good.
Man, we got this full moon coming in, but we can't dive deep. But first, this is episode, because we got 3 new guests today. So we only got 60 minutes to squeeze this all in. So, Enchanted Raven, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
We're going to talk more. Rashimba, how you doing?
Hi, greetings. I'm perfect.
We got a new guest. We have Beth.
Hello there.
She is the proprietor of Goddess I Am
I am.
in Naples. We're going to get to her. We have our second guest,
Gwen Peterson.
Gwen Peterson, and then we're going to introduce our third guest. He'll be here in a second. We don't have 6 chairs, so we're going to do some musical chairs. But real quick, this is how we always do this. First of all, this is the Spiritual Awakening Podcast 239. It's episode number 9. It seems like we only on number 9. It seems like we've been going at this for a long time, but only on number 9. So let's go to the Google. We got any numerology people in the building today? The meaning of angel number 9 and one such number which you may encounter repeatedly. What does it mean? It can symbolize love and represent the end of an important chapter in your life. Don't overlook the powerful meaning that can be associated with the seemingly simple number, as it can guide you towards important opportunities. Well, today we're going to be talking about tarot. We're going to do some live tarot. We're going to be talking about psychic abilities.
Yes.
And intuition and all that good stuff.
Yes, we all
So
have
it's going down. And what I want to accomplish with this podcast, for those that do not believe, we will make you a believer in the next 60 minutes. We got some women in the building today that will make even the biggest skeptics. When you see the end of this podcast, you will think twice that we all have intuition. But I know we're running short on time, so we got our first guest. She has a huge event coming up. On 11/11, ironically, 11/11 is called Spirit Con, and we're going to get into that. We have Gwen Peterson. Now, let me read her resume. Gwen Peterson is the mentor of insights, illuminations, helping others to refocus, re-energize, and recreate their lives. She is also the founder of Spiritual Communities Network, a global community of teachers and seekers of spiritual growth with classes and events held virtually and locally. As leader of the Naples Film City Collective, don't lock Michael out. She threw me off. As leader of the Naples Film City Collective, she supports businesswomen with the soul connection. She has been featured in the Natural Awakenings magazine. So, we welcome you. For the first time ever on the 239 Spiritual Awakening Podcast, Gwen Peterson. Pleasure to meet you.
Welcome.
New Soul Tribe.
Oh, as I like.
We got Naples in the building, man. We are definitely connecting. I think it's an important time that we connect.
Yes.
In this time right now. I think we're stronger
Yes.
together than separated,
Yes.
and that is my
Unity.
mission, what I exist for, to bring like-spirited and minded individuals together. So we're happy to have you here today. So tell us about yourself, because I know you don't have a lot of time. You want to add on to what your resume says. If you want to add anything else, and then tell us about your beautiful event so we can get 1,000 people there on 11/11 and make this thing huge.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much for having me here. And, Spirit Con.
Spirit Con, I love it, because my daughter goes to like what they call them, something con, but they have like comic books. Yeah, Comic-Con. She goes when they're in Tampa and Miami. So I never heard of Spirit Con. So I mean,
This is,
Interesting.
it's our 8th annual.
Wow.
So we kicked it off on 11/11/11.
Nice.
wow, makes sense.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It started in Naples. It was Spiritual Community of Naples. And, it's just grown from there. Now it encompasses a number of locations throughout Florida. And this year, Spirit Con's going to be back in Naples at Unity Church. It's a free event. It's always a free event.
Nice.
It's a way for people to come and see what the spiritual community is about, meet the teachers, kind of see
Love it.
things. And yeah, it's just kind of a great event. We were out on Pine Island last year. Like I said, we're in Naples this year. This year is going to be a movie theme. So we're going to have The Way. Have you guys seen The Way?
No.
The Way?
Yeah, it
I haven't seen
stars
it.
Martin Sheen. Have you seen it?
I have.
Beth? Yeah, great. The Way is the El Camino. I don't know the full-blown name of it. There's a big name for it. It's the path it's the trail that goes from one point in Europe to another, and it takes like months to walk. And Emilio Estevez wrote the story, and he has some appearances in it, but it's mostly his dad, Martin Sheen, that's in it. And yeah, it's kind of a moving thing. We're going to have Michelle Love as the speaker afterwards, and she's going to talk on what it means to be a visionary.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll have a
Okay.
raffle, too, with lots and lots of goodies. The
And what-
baskets are going to be filled with just wonderful gifts.
And where is this? Where is this taking? Where and what time?
It's going to be at Unity of Naples, which
Okay.
is off of Davis.
Is that next to the Boys and Girls Club over on that?
It's down that way, yeah.
Okay,
It's down that
so
way.
not too far off exit 101 for those who are traveling from Fort
Yeah,
Myers.
you
and
would probably come down, if you took the highway down, you would get off at,
101.
is that one?
That's Davis and Collier,
Okay.
and then make
Yeah.
that right
it's
on
like
Davis.
the last exit before the
Miami.
before you
Yeah.
hit the
Yes.
toll booth. If you hit a
Yes.
toll booth, you've gone.
Yeah,
too
that's
far.
101. So when you go, how do you go down
And then
past
you
Santa
turn-
Barbara, or is it
yeah,
before?
you go down past Santa Barbara, you're going to turn right onto Davis, and then it's like your first left. The church sits way back. It's a beautiful sanctuary in a wooded area on a lake. It's beautiful.
I know where that's at. My oldest daughter went to that private school over there. I can't think of the name of Seacrest.
Seacrest,
Yeah, it's
yep.
close to Seacrest.
Yeah, Seacrest was started by the original minister for Unity of Naples.
Ah,
His wife started Seacrest.
see how we all connected with that? This is crazy right now. This is crazy right now. So, the event starts at 4 in the afternoon. That's another good thing.
Well,
'Cause
the VIPs start at 4. The movie, general admission, starts at 6.
Mm-hmm.
The movie is going to start at 6:30. It's about 2 hours, and then we'll have Michelle talk at 9. Michelle will talk at 9, and then we'll do the raffle afterwards. But we do have VIP tickets on sale, which is a breakout session that includes 2 additional speakers and a VIP lounge and special swag bag of gifts special for
Ooh.
them, and they get preferred seating. So just for a little bit, I think it's $25. You can have a little bit of special treatment, and they would come at 4. So
Okay.
between 4 and 6, they'll get pampered
Very
before the rest of the
cool.
folks show up.
That's awesome. 8
Yeah.
years you've been doing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
and we're just now hearing about it, but it
I
don't. It's
know,
better
I
late than
know,
never.
right?
11/11. That's such a special number for me.
Which
and
was
the
your
date.
favorite Spirit Con? Like which event made it like you're like, yes, this is the one, you know?
Each one's had its own theme, so it's
I
been a
feel
lot
that.
of fun. But
Yeah.
probably the Inception one.
Yeah.
When it was born, because Spiritual Communities Network kind of was little pieces. Spirit would drop in. Why not just start a meetup group and let people put their classes on
That's
it?
exactly what we're doing with
Yeah,
this podcast.
right? And I'm getting goosebumps all over. So, yeah. So then it was, what about a newsletter? And then what about this? And then early that year, 2011, I was meditating and just had, now you need to anchor this all in because you're going to build a community consciousness for the
Yes.
spiritual community.
Yes.
Because we had all the makings for spiritual community. I mean, all the pieces were there, but the consciousness,
Right.
Where
The
we
awareness,
share with
right.
each other and we're out there and we're
Right.
promoting each other, and
Right. Right.
so
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm trying to accomplish here with this podcast.
Exactly.
And that's
Yes.
exactly why you're here today.
Yep. The first one we were going to do, kind of like a pub crawl or a parade of homes, where you have a number of places,
Right.
and then you just kind of go from place to place.
Right.
And I was like, well, I know about 4 places. Maybe we could get them on board and do this. And we ended up with 15 locations. Once word got out what was going on, we had 15 places and teachers who all wanted to be part of it. And we had a big kickoff party in the morning and a big closing at the end. And just tons of people roaming around, checking different places out. And
That
the
is
party at the
cool.
end was great.
That's
So,
awesome. And that was all in Naples, the
yeah,
first one?
yeah.
Mhm.
And then, next year, Fort Myers, there was a number of people from Fort Myers that said, what about us? Where's our calendar and where's our stuff? So it's just kind of
So
grown
it's
out. Now
spread.
it's why it's Spiritual Communities Network, because
That's
it's
I
just
love it. I
kinda
love
gone
it.
out.
I
That's
love
great.
it.
That's why we've
Yes.
connected, because we got to connect those same Fort Myers people you just talked about. It's funny. I mean, the Naples tribe is like you and Beth are the first people I've been able to get on the podcast. So I've been trying to get more Fort Myers people involved. So hopefully after this podcast, this will kind of be like a seed that you planted today to try to get them more involved.
Absolutely.
It seems
right.
like
Well,
that.
you see the directory in front of you. I can hook you up with a few different
Yeah, I
people.
got the Holy Grail. I got
She's
the
like, I
Holy
got you.
Grail
I
now.
got you.
I'm in business now. So other than the movie and the raffles, I mean, what else is going on? Did you say, is it going to be like tarot card readings there? Is it going to
No,
be?
not this one. This one's not going to have a fair event like we
Okay.
did last year. We kind of had a fair thing going, but not
Okay.
this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once again, that's 11/11/19. You can't forget that date, and that's on a Saturday, right?
A Monday.
A Monday. Ooh.
It's
okay.
Monday, Veterans Day.
Ah, I should know
So
that.
most people might have,
Have
well,
off,
not
yeah.
most people, but some might have the day off.
Well, it doesn't start at 6 p.m. So by the
Exactly,
time people
yeah.
get off work, they could get there. Except for the
Right.
VIPs, they could get there at 4 p.m. for the VIP and the guest speakers. So,
Yeah.
yep. So if you're free, check it out. Support the local community. Spirit Con 2019. I'm all about this.
Finally,
I'm all
yes.
about this. Wherever you find, if this message, you receive this message, try to attend it. It's going to be in Naples at the Unity of Naples off of Davis Boulevard. For more information, how can they contact you to get more information?
They can email me at spiritualcommunitiesnetwork.com@gmail.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can just pick up the phone and call me. I'm kind of easy that way. 239-595-1587.
Say that number one more time in case they didn't pick it up.
239-595-1587.
All right.
She's so cute.
Well, you got to come back. Now that you know what our vision is here with this podcast. You got to come back when you have a little bit more time so we can dwell deeper and expand on each other's goals and what we're trying to accomplish
Yeah, I wasn't
locally.
really sure what I was getting into.
Welcome to the tribe, darling.
I'm working
It was
on
like,
my intuition slowly
Meet
but
us at
surely.
the corner of in the warehouse.
There you go. Yeah.
Well,
This is how it starts, though. Just remember 8 years ago when you started the Spirit Con, it had to be a seed planted, and look where you're at now.
Right, right.
and when
So-
you said Beth was going to be here, I was like, well, if it's bad mojo, they're taking down two big hitters.
No, that's good, peoples. I stumbled upon her shop, and I've been. It's weird because when I went in Beth's shop, I guess this might be a segue to Beth now. But is it you got someone there with the name with the M, right? Michelle or
Melissa.
Melissa? Yes.
Melissa, sweet Melissa.
Yes, Melissa just, what a spirit. She just started like spraying me with anointing oil. She was just giggly. I walked in. She was just like, I mean, it was amazing. And she started doing like a reading on me right then and there. And I was like, and what's weird is it ties into the Enchanted Raven because what she told me,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't figure out at that time, but it's something that Enchanted Raven triggered me on the day before, and it came full circle. And we'll get into that in a second, how everything is connected once again. It's
I
crazy.
love it. I love it. It's just you go and you're like, yep, that
Yep.
happened.
So we're going to do some musical chairs right now. Beth, you're going to switch over. Gwen, thank you for coming by. You will be back.
Thank
I'm going
you,
to
guys.
manifest
Thank
it.
you. Yes.
11/11 Spirit Con 2019. You heard it first right here on the
Go.
239 Spiritual
Go.
Awakening. Definitely.
Thank you
we'll
so
see you
much.
soon.
We'll see you
Take
soon.
care.
We'll have you
Yeah.
back.
Definitely.
Take care.
Woo! So, let's go. Let's get it in. Here we are, episode number 9.
Number 9.
Speaking of tarot, there always has to
Divine
be a
9.
number 9 before there's a 10, which usually
Right.
means either your cup is full or it's getting
Yep.
ready to be empty before something
it's either
new's
gonna
coming
sit
in.
or it's gonna come
Yeah.
full force.
I
Actually,
know all
yeah.
about the 9 of Swords, the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, all
You
that.
know what's funny? A friend of mine pulled all 4 of those cards today for herself, and I'm like,
Wow.
"Ooh, girl."
All 9s?
She pulled all
That's,
9.
that's a
She's
batch
asking
of...
for it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that she's at the point where everything's happening to
They're
her.
completing.
But the Nine of Wands is warning her that if she is going to listen to all those negative thoughts and the negative Nellies around them, then it's gonna start depleting. She's gonna go that way. So that she's like, I don't understand why the Nine of Wands came up. I'm fine. I'm happy. Everything's aligning for me. I'm like, well, don't listen to everybody around you. So
You've got it.
you've got it.
Okay, so before we dive deep, listeners, as my man Ralph Smart would always say, deep divers.
Yes.
Like, before we dive deep, y'all know who Ralph Smart is, right?
No.
He's a YouTuber. He's like one of the biggest spiritual YouTubers. He's a English dude.
Okay.
Yeah, he's something
gonna
special.
have to
But
look
he's
him
been
up.
labeled
Okay.
as a conspiracy.
Oh, we all have
Netflix,
that.
yeah, they put him in a box, but he's been on my journey since the beginning. So, well,
Michael!
we gotta step up to the microphone.
All
bro.
right.
So, we got another new guest we're gonna introduce, and then we're gonna dive deep, viewers. So, y'all met Michael on the last podcast. Well, by the time y'all see this, it'll be 2 podcasts ago when we were at the Revive down in Bonita Springs. He is Mr. Table,
Tuning
frequency
himself.
tuning table himself, the proprietor, the inventor, the everything of the body frequency, but he is expanded. I'm not gonna tell his vision and his dreams. He can say, he's a grown man. He can say what he want to say and tell you. But first let's introduce Beth, and then we're gonna dive in. So introduce yourself, Beth. Other than that, we know you've been on a spiritual journey for almost 30 years. And we
Give or
know that
take.
you are the proprietor of Goddess I Am in Naples. What else would you like the world to know about you?
Well,
No.
I'm just
You're gonna be
super
right here.
excited to meet all y'all and just get to, bring y'all into the fold that we are and come into where you're playing. Yeah, Goddess I Am, we are a healing and meditation center. And so we're here for anybody that needs what they need.
Love it.
We've got a whole curated group of very, very powerful readers and healers, and they all have to read me first, or they don't get through the door.
Wow.
That's the job requirement.
I'm
They-
telling you, there have been many who have not gotten a yes.
Uh-huh.
I love them, and
Yeah.
I
Right.
but if they don't have the heart.
Right.
If this is about, I want to make extra money, and it's
Right.
just about that.
Right.
That's you can't be
No.
my tribe.
Right.
It's got to be love.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Very
And,
cool. I love that.
So I gotta
love
ask
that.
you,
That's
how
right.
long?
right.
Love that.
How long has Goddess I Am existed, or how long have you been the proprietor? Because I just stumbled upon it, like 3-4 months ago when we first crossed paths.
So Goddess I Am has been in business for 5 years.
Okay.
I did everything wrong. I opened my business with $248 in the bank.
I love
What's-
that.
what's
she
wrong with
went
that?
for it.
I mean, that was it, right?
she
So,
went for it.
You know what?
Energy right
Spirit
there.
whispered
That's
one
right.
day. I was
Don't
in a
worry about it,
class.
yeah.
That's
That's
right.
right.
They
Yep.
said, "I think it's time for you to open a shop." And I
Yep.
turned around, and everybody said, "I think I'm going to open a shop."
That's right.
That is exactly what I'm going through right now.
There
That's
you go.
it.
Exactly what
And
I'm
I
going through.
just went into complete faith and trust that, well,
Absolutely.
okay, if you're asking me to step in, then you got to step up too, because here we go. We're going to
That's
play,
it.
we're going to journey, and we're going to rock this role.
That's
so
right.
we've been doing it ever since.
Interesting.
That's
I gotta talk
wonderful.
And
to
we're
you.
debt free. You know what I mean? So it's
Wonderful.
like $248, and we just kept building. Thank you, God.
I gotta talk to you. I have to talk to
Yes,
you because
yes.
that's exactly the
Yeah.
line that I'm going
Happy
down right
to
now.
help you.
Okay.
Now you have what I like to use the word tribe. I mean, you can use whatever you were. Now, what
No,
your
that's our word too. We love
okay?
that
So
word.
your tribe is 8 of your tribe in Naples. I remember looking at the wall and I seen 8 pictures. Is there more to your tribe?
There's more. That's just all we could fit. You know, we've got a rotation kind of going, but I mean, at any day, like when you were mentioning Melissa, Melissa we call spiritual Sephora because she's all about oils, and she'll come and spray you, and you'll leave,
Yeah.
and you'll smell like you don't even know what, but you'll feel amazing.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yep.
So we're all about the journey and transforming. We don't want to just tell you what your path is about. It's about how do you become the best version of yourself, right?
I love it.
But-
Because it's not just like you're going to have money. Okay, everybody's going to have some money,
Right.
but where's your heart really beat?
Right.
Right?
Right.
How
Exactly.
you really going to be
Right.
who you're
you
truly
are.
here to be,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's what we're about. We want to make you just see the beauty of yourself, that true magnificence of your soul, that all your experiences have kind of hidden and you've adapted to them, but it's not really you.
Right.
Mm. I agree. We talk about that all the time
All
on
the
this podcast,
time.
man.
All
So many,
the
so many people,
time.
so many people living in the third dimension, and
Exactly.
they think they're so programmed by TV,
Yes.
radio, and they've lost who the true essence of their
Right.
being is.
Right.
And that's our job to try to
Yeah,
wake them
right,
up and
right,
bring
right.
That's
bring
right.
the fourth, the fifth, sixth, the 100th dimension. I don't know how far the dimensions go
There's
nowadays.
plenty to go around. Just know that.
Infinite.
There's plenty
dimensions.
to
Infinite.
explore.
If we could just get them to love themselves.
Just love.
start
Self-love.
Just
Just
start
love.
That basis.
Just
right?
love.
Self-love and self-forgiveness. You got to forgive
Completely,
yourself.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I
So
agree.
before we get too far, I'd love to tell y'all that we are having what we call Spirit Festival, also at Unity.
Okay,
This
so
Saturday.
Unity must be the. Is that like the
No,
spirit?
they don't do this.
No, but I mean,
Interesting.
is that location?
I'm telling you, they don't do this.
That's
Okay,
what she
well-
I
did.
made friends with Reverend Mark, and I told him, I said, I have a vision that I want to introduce people to your Unity campus and all that y'all are bringing, because they bring non-denominational, open-hearted welcoming to people who aren't fully into the whole Bible-y stuff.
So
But
is it a
they-
Unitarian Universalist?
No,
church?
it's a straight up unity.
Okay.
But he is so metaphysical in his approach.
Fantastic.
So it's like, dude, you could come and talk at my store anytime.
Okay.
Right.
So we made friends, and I said, "Would you like us to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, bring it." And then that's what.
Fantastic.
So we did that. So this is what we have, and I just thought I'd pull it up. So this is going to be our second big Spirit Festival
Festival.
this Saturday from 10 to 4. We're going to have tons of readers, healers, mediums.
So that's
We're gonna
that's where
have-
I got it mixed up from
Awesome.
We're
Gwen's
going to
event.
have tarot. We're going to have talks.
Very cool.
So if you want to learn about pendulums, if you want to learn about meditation, you want to learn a lot of different things, we're going to have classes all day long.
Okay.
We also have a whole room just healers. That's why I wanted Michael, but he's already obligated elsewhere. But that's okay next time.
I know, right?
But we have
it's-
room for
But
healers.
we met today. That's what's
That's it.
important. The
Exactly.
bond
And
is now
and now
connected.
we're friends. Now we're friends.
Divine timing.
So
You-
anyway,
you,
that's-
you just brought up something. You mentioned the word pendulum, and since today's podcast is about intuition, psychic abilities, and we're going to do some tarot. Tell me, because the woman I was telling you about on the way here today, she brought up the word pendulum. So
Okay.
I think maybe she's into the pendulum. Explain to me, because I don't fully know what the pendulum
Okay,
is.
so a pendulum is one of the tools of divination. Tarot is a tool. Oracle cards are a tool. This is a tool. Sorry, it's a podcast. You can't see it necessarily. So
Yeah,
this is
but
a
no
pendulum.
cursing, no cursing.
A
even though,
pendulum is basically a weighted object on a string. You could literally use a piece of hair. You could use a string and a ring, or like a fish weight, right? You know, to when you go fishing, what do they
A
call
fishing
it?
lure.
The
Yep.
Fishing lure.
Yep.
You know, you could use anything that weighs, and then you ask yourself
Go grab mine.
whether or not you ask for it to show you yeses and nos. Okay, and so it works with your spirit, your energy, and your higher self. And sometimes it brings in angels. Sometimes it brings in a higher being. Sometimes it brings in masters that help you to navigate this world. Like, I can find objects for people. Like, is it in the house? Yes. Is it in the upstairs? No. Is it in the downstairs? Yes. Is it in the kitchen? No. Is it in the living room? And you get yeses and nos until you find it. But it's kind of my cheat sheet, because it just makes it quick and easy.
I love
There you go. That's what we're just
I love pendulums.
but it's a great little tool for, like, you can hold a vitamin bottle and you can say, is this the most appropriate vitamin for me to take?
Right.
You get a
You'll
yes or no.
Right.
Boom.
Right. Right.
so hold on. How do you? So you say if you swing to the right, yes. You swing to
No,
the
no,
left, no.
it's
How
all
does it work?
different. It's
Yeah, it's
individual.
different.
So because I've been using pendulums so long, mine always do the same yeses and same nos. But when you're first beginning, you just, and it's funny, I did this with someone today. I said,
Yeah, you got to do it, because I'm sure people that's watching this
okay,
probably don't.
so basically, a pendulum, please show us yes, and it'll go circles, because mine always does circles. Now watch what happens when I say thank you,
It stops.
Get out of here.
and please show us no,
And then it'll.
and there it goes. My nose are back and forth. So there is a trick to it, and I'm going to tell you what the big trick is. The big trick is neutrality. You cannot care what the answer is.
Right.
If you care, I'm just going to think the word yes.
No barely. That was circulating.
So if I'm like, oh, is this the man I'm going to marry? Oh, it It's a yes. That's why I'm like,
And it spins off your hand,
I
then it's
know.
time to take it.
this is why everybody needs a pendulum buddy. So that
Pendulum buddy. All right, any
Everybody
pendulum
needs a
buddies,
pendulum.
holla at your
So,
boy.
like, you could be my pendulum buddy,
Right.
and I could say,
Right.
okay, this means so much to me, and I can't get neutral. Ask it this
Right.
question
Exactly.
because
Right.
she's not invested in
Right.
what my question is.
Right.
So it's always nice to have a buddy that can
yes.
help
Yes.
you with those
Yes.
kind of answers,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, but
we
they're a lot
learning
of fun.
something new today,
Right.
folks. We learned
So if
something
you
new.
come, I'm going to teach Pendulum 101 at our festival.
My friends
there-
always
is there a
calling me like,
specific-
"Can
is
you
there
do
a
the pendulum
specific,
for me?" Because
Absolutely.
I
Is there a
wanna
specific
know it's
gem
good.
or
Absolutely.
object that you use for the pendulum to
You
create
know,
this
No.
plumb bob
No,
thing that
it is like a plumb bob. No, they come in all kinds of different gemstones, and because your vibration is very unique to you, you may find that the one that's really calling to you, and it's really them calling to you, might be the one that's like, let's say tourmaline going,
Well,
pick me, and so
Right.
you
Mine-
pick it up.
So I don't have like
Oh,
a
wow.
crystal
Yeah.
or anything. I mean, it's just something.
It's an energy.
Yeah, it's an energy because it's you're ultimately you're the one that's connecting with it. So it's got to resonate with you.
So can we use that today during our
Of course.
Sure.
our
Oh, yeah.
tarot
Yeah,
energy,
you use
however y'all want to
pendulums
call
every
it?
day, all day.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that.
I
You're
love
so
pendulums.
awesome.
Uh-oh,
This is
what, the
my
camera's
kind of people.
timed out.
Absolutely.
And
It's
it's
gonna
just
be
kind of
very
fun
interesting.
because then it doesn't really need to be, we all get to talk in shorthand. right?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's,
Interesting.
My camera doesn't want to film me.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
We're having slight technical difficulties. But while we're having the slight technical difficulties, I want to jump into something. I told you this on the way up here. I want to kind of give a slight testimony of myself as it relates to tarot. Because I'm into tarot. I don't
Right.
know why it's calling me. I don't think I have a calling for it. But I just think it's just like she just said about the pendulum. It's a test of your energy.
Right.
And that's why I think tarot is kind of drawn to me, because really tarot is to test your intuition.
Right.
That's basically what it is,
Yeah.
to see how, I guess, in sync you are with the spirit.
And it's also for me, it
And
was
the
also
energy.
it was also how you're going to handle what gifts they gave to you. So if for me it's images, like I keep telling you, it's images and it's a story, a movie. So they flash it for you. They flash different things. So it's an energy that you kind of feel, and then they test you. They give you like little, like they start you off very small, and then they go, okay, she's been doing this for like a couple months. Let's let's hit her with this, and then it for me it was depending on how.
Oh, you're blocking the view.
I'm causing all sorts of problems over here, everybody.
Hey, isn't it
What I
what's
do.
a full moon or new moon right
New
now?
moon. It's a new moon. in
It seems like
Scorpio.
every podcast we
have
have, it's a
it-
new
yes,
moon, man.
yes,
So all right, so
yes.
what we going into is Scorpio season now.
Yes.
So it's a new moon.
New moon.
New moon in Scorpio.
New moon. New intentions. New you.
Oh man, Scorpio is my moon sign, and it's a full
Yes.
moon. So what does
So
that
it's-
mean for us Aries?
It's
My fellow
Yeah.
Aries now, baby.
Fire,
is your
You are not alone.
Is your
moon,
moon sign also Scorpio or
I
no?
believe it's Leo.
Oh, even more fire.
Huh. Okay. So Scorpios are all about like the mystery, the fire beneath the mystery, the mysterious ways, your dark side. And when I say dark side, it's not necessarily that demonic. I'm gonna create this whole bad image gothic scene. It's your dark side. It's your shadow side. It's what you don't want to face. It's your bad side, so to say, but it's the lessons and the issues that you really need to work on, that you've come here to work on. So it's kind of like it'll bring up a lot of past life issues. A lot of the past life issues that have been coming up have been self-forgiveness, have been being afraid of being seen, heard, and recognized. So your dark side is going to be, okay, I'm going to push you right into this, you're going to be seen and you're going to be heard and you're going to be recognized. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to get through it? So Aries being that, I'm going to do it, and this is how it's going to be, and this is what's going to happen. What?
Not
You're
us.
Not an Aries? Well, that's funny because I'm a Libra, so I'm opposite of you, and I'm going, yes, you can. Yeah, we're going to balance this, and we're going to take this energy and this energy and bring it together. And the dark side is, I'm indecisive. So, what do you mean I can't do
No
this? Or we
comment.
can do this? Yeah, I know.
No comment.
Yeah, shh.
We don't take it there.
Aries
There's
gonna
gonna be
watch
some
out.
interesting tarot psychic stuff jumping off of there today, boy. I don't know. You ready for this? We're about to get
born ready.
dissected, brother.
I get I get dissected every time. I got to tell you about how you met Raven.
Okay, yes, and then I'm gonna tell her how the connection with you and Melissa is connected to her, because they read me back to back.
Oh, brilliant.
Without even.
She read me the day before I met Melissa, but
So
first.
you met Raven because of this profound reading that I had with Raven. The meeting and I told you about it when we were at the store picking up some groceries and stuff. But I'm gonna give you just the final finale,
Yeah, for the sake of time.
the finale of what had happened.
What had happened was
Well, yeah, well, exactly.
the spirit jumped out on the table.
I've never been kinda.
Yeah,
But I've never been anti tarot or pro tarot, but I come from a background of Christianity, raised in the holy rolling, speaking in tongues, church, and all this stuff, and
Ooh, Pentecostal, huh?
yep. So we're going through doing the reading, and a couple cards literally jumped out,
Yeah,
looked
some
like they were
flyers,
looked like they
some
were
jumpers.
pulled
I mean,
out of the deck.
They wanted to speak.
And then
They wanted
then
to speak.
I
I'm
love
like,
when that
do you
happens.
use those cards or not? She said, well, Spirit will tell me. So three cards jumped out in the middle of the reading, and then at the end of the reading, there was a couple cards that jumped out, and one of the cards I can't remember what the one before the last card was, but it was of course profound. But the final card, it was one of the ones that fell on the floor. And Raven says, well, the spirits will tell her whether to use them or not. And she's like, picking them up. She's like, oh, you're using these cards. So
Yeah.
she did the one card. And then the final card, she says, your mama's here. and she went like this and kind of put it up on the counter. It kind of spun around and it dropped. And it
Get
spun around.
outta
I'm looking
here.
to see what it is. And it was Jesus Christ card.
The Jesus, I didn't know it was a Jesus.
I didn't
Christ card
either.
in the tarot. What deck is that?
But-
That's the
Ascended
Ascended
Masters.
But when
Really?
but when
Yahshua
when-
has his own card.
Yeah,
We gotta use that
when-
deck today. Then.
Yeah, and when that came out, and she said, "Your mama's here," I knew that was the truth. She was there 'cause she never. I just met her the same day. Didn't tell her anything about my history, my past, or my relationship with my mama. And it was.
That's
it
when
was.
you knew it was real.
It was. The cards do not lie.
Never.
And as a Pentecostal, your mama probably loved her some Jesus, didn't she?
Exactly.
Oh, let me tell.
Exactly.
So what a
That's why
beautiful
you
messenger
knew.
to
That's
bring
why
it
you
through.
knew.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's always
It's always beautiful. It's just
So,
Yeah, it was
so
real.
to take the to
I get excited. I gotta
transist from
be careful.
what Mike just said, how we connected. Mike was like, Jay, you got to meet this woman. She's the truth. He was like,
Aw.
and then he called her. I went over there, met up with him. He called you on the phone. I started talking about my relationship with tarot, and I'm like, I think it's kind of cool. I kind of look at it for entertainment purposes, but for growing purposes also. And then we met, and then now I'm gonna tell you a story how you connected in on all of this. So I went to her house to get my first ever tarot reading, and
I'm
I
so
know,
honored.
right?
I'm
Isn't
so
that-
honored.
I mean, the whole story in itself is crazy, but I'll just fast forward to the end of it. So as I'm walking out of her house, your nephew was with me, and out the corner of his eyes, we were walking out the door, he saw a book on her kitchen counter. He was like, oh, that's a good movie. What's the name of the movie called?
The Shack.
The Shack. He was like, that's a good movie. He was like, you got to watch that movie. She has the book. She's like, yeah, you need to read this book too. And I'm like,
Yes.
and I had my oldest daughter with me. She's like, yeah, that's a good movie, Dad. You got to watch it too. And I'm like, well, how come everybody knows about it except me?
Don't worry about it. Just watch it. You'll thank me
I'm
later.
like,
Just
what
watch
is it about this movie? So like, I went home that night and watched the movie. The first time it didn't. Go back up a little bit. In her tarot card reading, she was like, I have something in my heart that's holding me back from my next relationship. There's a hole like in my heart chakra that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so now I'm going crazy trying to think of, what's hindering me. I'm like, all right, so the
What did
next
she
day,
just tell me?
so the next day I go to your shop looking for some new crystals. I'm like, let me try to get some new crystals, get some new energy, maybe mix things up. So that's when I meet Melissa. Melissa's like straight up. I have my hair in a ponytail. She just laughing, spraying stuff on me. I'm like, who is this crazy woman? Like, she just like don't even know me. They don't even know me. Just spraying stuff on me. She's like, yeah, you need this, 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 and this. And I might have been. I think I was looking for crystals, but I was like, if you have any rose oil, I'll take that too. And I think she just happened to be out that day or something. So anyway, as I'm checking out, she just starts reading me for the heck of it. I'm like, what? Like, first this woman's spraying all the stuff on me. And I'm like, now she's like sitting here giving me a live reading. And she's like, yeah, I'm aligning your lower chakras right now. I'm like, I came here to buy like a crystal necklace. Now I'm getting like, and then she's like, then she just started reading me. She's like, yeah, she's like, something happened to you when you were 9 years old. And she's like, you haven't been able to fully recover from that. She was like, you've done a good job to get this far, but she's like, there's something you have to clear before you could ascend and get that hole out of your heart. Yeah. So now I'm really going crazy because like she already got me like, you know, so like she just took it a whole nother step further. And I'm like, man, what the heck is it? What the heck is it? So then I go home that night and watch the movie. I watched the movie, The Shack. So I'm sitting here watching the movie, not knowing. I'm like, man, okay. So I get to the part of the movie where the son is in the field with Jesus, God, and the woman. And then she's seeing the auras. And the guy's like, well, who is this? What is this? And then as the auras coming closer, he realizes it's his father. And he is me in that movie. The guy is literally me because that's what the whole movie was about. And I don't want to ruin it. If you haven't seen the movie, you got to watch it. But anyway,
or at least read the book, yeah.
The guy in the movie, his father was an alcoholic and used to beat up on his mother. My father was also an alcoholic, and he hadn't forgiven his father, which is why he was still stuck in that vibration, that space, and his life was miserable because he hadn't forgiven his father for beating up on him and his mother. And then that's when it all kind of hit me, like, my father was an abusive alcoholic father and used to beat up on me too. I'm about to start.
Oh,
That's great. That's great. That's right. That's right. Let it out.
Let it out.
Let it out. Release.
And so what we find is when we're in those situations, we adapt to the horror of it until you see what happens.
So, try to finish this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So, in the movie, he makes good with his father after he's dead. So, I realized, like, that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I did that night.
Let
So,
the forgiveness
That's
take over.
wonderful.
so yeah.
Good.
Forgiveness.
So, it's funny, though, how it all came 360
circle.
degrees
Full
from
circle.
meeting her, meeting Melissa, to watching the movie, seeing the book, and how the message came through all the people connected, like, that fast. Manifestation, like.
Do you want to know why all of that happened in the way that it happened? Because it was the one thing that was holding you back
Yes.
from where you are supposed to be going, just as
Yes.
that card she just pulled for you.
You're on the right path.
And you had to have that healed for the path to fully open to you to be the man you're supposed to be on this path. And Spirit wasn't going to let you off the hook.
No.
You were going to keep running into people
That's right.
until
There it is. Confirmation.
Oh, just went off.
Confirmation.
So now we know that the spirit is alive and awake in this space
Always.
right now.
Confirmation.
Always.
So I think we're ready to start the podcast now.
Okay.
I think the podcast has already begun.
Oh, why you gotta show me a twin flame card, man? I'm so trying to get over twin flame. I'm
Got
so,
conversation on the way here.
yes. I'm so.
Yeah,
I don't
but
want to talk about twin
This
flame.
one
Oh,
is.
y'all all rolled in together?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
picked
I'm
me
sorry.
up and then he picked up.
Oh,
my-
awesome.
So
Awesome.
that's the true message, but this one I think was for me. Our conversation. And-
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about that on the way here, too.
It is just in the air.
It's in the air. It's in the air.
We cannot make
Maybe I
this
don't-
stuff up.
Maybe I don't want to get read today because I'm going to get called out again.
Listen, Mike, are you like when I first introduced, I have 3 spiritual guides beside me. I have Archangel Michael on my right side, who's my spiritual guide for this life. I have Enchanted Raven, who I've named my business after, who is I was her in a past life.
Okay.
So she's coming through, my soul, my higher soul is coming through as Enchanted Raven. Then I have Serena Serafina on this side, my left side, who's my spiritual guide for this lifetime. So when he met Enchanted Raven, oh, she's sassy. Oh, she's sassy. She gave it to him like the past life cards were like, you need to listen right now because this, you're not getting it. Like they were flying out, and then all of a sudden when I got to the Ascended Masters deck and I had that confirmation, he's like, okay, I hear you now.
Loud.
So
and
whenever
clear.
I come, he's like, oh my God, does she have something to say?
We didn't bring no sage. We don't need. I could already feel the energy. We don't even need sage
This
right
is-
now.
yeah, this
It's
is-
all the chimes already went off
that
twice.
right?
We've already had
Okay.
some cards pulled.
We've got-
There ain't no doubt what's going to go down right now. All right, so one thing I do want to say about tarot, and this is not a negative thing, but I feel like I had to say this because
For
I know
sure.
that there's probably going to be some misguided people out there who's going to see this podcast and have some negative thoughts.
Well, that's what we're here for, to clear
And
that up.
because I bumped into a lot of charlatans too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
and that's what I would suggest to anybody who gets into tarot, because there's a lot of fake people. Like
Yes.
Rashimba kind of slightly talked on. I want to go one step further, and there's a lot of people that does this for money, and they're
Yes.
not doing it as their spiritual gift.
Yes.
They're just out there. There's millions of YouTubers that just do fake stuff, and I just want to give y'all some hints. If you see these things, then it's probably, I'm not doubting. There's some very spiritual, psychic individuals out there that don't even need to read cards.
Absolutely.
But
Right.
but with that
Right.
being said, when you're on YouTube and you're doing general reads,
Right.
and it's not specific for a person, just take that with a grain of salt. If
Right.
it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
But
and that was the perfect example because I pulled that card for you, and you're like, "Oh well, I don't want to see that twin," but that twin flame wasn't for you; it was for me because of the conversation that we were having.
It was
And
for both.
It was for both. 'cause
It was
they
a dual
had the
card.
Conversation.
Oh.
There was a
They
dual
had
card
the
'cause that conversation on the
and
way
I
up
wanted to
here.
hear
That
too.
part. Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, we did.
Wow.
But yes,
Okay.
About
continue what
somebody.
you're saying for real.
Well, I mean, all right, let's go. But I wanted to get that out there. Like,
Yeah.
if people aren't, here's another thing too. When people are reading cards, Google it yourself. Look it up.
Thank you.
I like readers who tell you, or at least put in the description box, what deck they're using.
Yes.
So then it's a reference point for you to go use it too to research and get educated. But if they're just babbling off random stuff, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't like it that way, but resonate how you read it. But I would do your own research and
Yeah.
learn the cards yourself. Test
That's-
your own
yeah.
intuition.
Exactly. That's
That's
why
a-
I brought the books because
Yes.
to sit up and tell and give a reading, but on the podcast, I just feel like get
Man, you
yourself
brought enough books.
Get
That's
yourself get yourself a library
it.
because everybody is a healer.
Yes.
We are all
Yes.
healers.
In our own
We
way, yes.
all have the gift.
Yes.
We all have the same. We're all made of the same magical stuff.
Yes.
You just have to develop your tools. You have to
Yes.
develop your skills. You have to develop your intuition. Get
And
a
your
book
trust.
and read. Don't just Google.
Yes.
Get a deck.
Yes.
Work with that deck.
Yes.
Look into the
Yes.
deck.
Yes.
Have it's all types of practices and rituals that you can do with your deck.
And there's different ways
And it's
that
different.
people read for
Exactly.
each other. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now
So-
there's some skeptics out here that's not gonna believe it. I know a couple friends I got. I'm trying to bring them to the light. They still want to stay in the dark, but
It's
eventually
okay. It's okay.
they're gonna step foot
It's
into
okay.
the light. They don't believe in this stuff. They're like, man, it's all hogwash. I think mainly because he had a bad experience with a
Oh, yeah.
hypnotist, and so they're like, oh, this psychic stuff's baloney, man. It's not real. But look, everyone has intuition.
Right.
Every person alive has intuition.
Right.
It's just like anything else you have in life. You have to work it to strengthen
Right.
it. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. It's like
Exactly.
everything. So
It's- yeah.
it's not meant for everyone. Like you said, we're all healers and we all have our own way. Like my thing is the herbal treatment to heal people.
Mm-hmm.
And also this podcast is how I'm healing people. Also just educating them. It's all different. So, but this is y'all thing. So I'm ready for y'all to take over now. So
I just want to say that using
his
your,
healer thing, he has the body frequency tuning table. Like,
well,
go
well, I was just going to say that intuition and becoming one with your own intuition is like a musical instrument. The more you use it, the more you touch it,
Right.
the more you become acquainted with it,
Right.
and the more you get better with it. You get
Right.
better the more you use it.
That's like everything in
use it.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Such
wish
is
it.
life, such is
So
life.
how we gonna do this? We got 3 very intuitive women in here that's about to dissect the only 2 men in here. So
It's slice and
she's
dice.
got a pendulum, you've got cards, and Rashima's got books. This is an interesting mix we got going on. We got 3 different ways to do this. So however y'all feel comfortable, if y'all wanna, for the sake of time, you wanna read Mike first, and then we'll do like maybe, I don't know, we got 15, 20 minutes to do his. Well, we got like 20 minutes. So you want to give him like a 10-minute reading? You're going to give me a 10-minute reading? Y'all want to
That's
collectively?
Fine, that's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna flow with it.
Right.
You
We'll
know.
just-
we're gonna
Okay,
flow
so
with it.
you go first, brother. I'm
All right.
sorry I had to say that's the last.
And
So
you wanna get closer? You wanna be over here, or you're fine? Okay.
Nope. I think I'm
are you open to everything?
Always. Yeah.
Past life, current life, relationships,
It's
business?
all gonna come out anyway.
It
so-
is. I mean, it's really not no hiding. Once you go there, it's pretty much the truth will be revealed in the car.
Well, Raven doesn't like doing future stuff. She don't
Exactly.
she don't like intruding on people's free will and stuff.
Because I
So-
believe that you have your own free will to make those choices. So I call myself an affirmationalist. So I affirm what your heart chakra, your vibes are saying, what this life, what your true heart's desire is saying. So I affirm that. You already know what you want. I'm just an outside source, an outside divinative tool that's going to tell you, yeah, you're on the right path. You're doing it because it's what you want. That being said, in my readings, I do ask you to have an open hind.
Open Hind. What are you
Open
thinking
heart,
about?
open mind.
Hey,
Open
I forgot
heart,
to
open
mention
mind.
it's about to be Mercury retrograde,
I'm
so
telling
it's,
you,
it's
communication. Oh.
new moon, Mercury retrograde is bananas. Halloween is going
The
down.
veil is
Mercury
thinning,
should
and
be
oh, yeah.
direct soon. So
So just have an open mind, and that's the key too. We were talking about how the skeptics, you're only a skeptic because you're not open to it, or you have a past life issue that you're afraid to face. So I will start off.
Oh, you got a jumper. Real quick, what deck is that? You got to
This,
show the listeners what deck it is so they
This
can
is
go
the
look at
past life by Doreen Virtue, and Brian L. Weiss, and the two of them together, I think, make a very powerful couple. So and the answers always come out, which this one already jumped out for Michael. So, okay. So we have Asia. So Asia is the Buddhist colony. Asia is the respect value. Asia is the self-respect, the self-dignity. You hold yourself to a higher a higher standard in your lifetime right now. So this also screams community as well. So you were part of the community, the Asia community, and the yellow in it is kind of it's grabbing towards me. So it like the yellow is your happiness. So this is a good reading, Michael.
Well, they're all good because the truth comes out.
He's like, what is she trying to say? What is it?
Found out you was Asian in a former lifetime.
I mean,
Potentially.
yeah, we all of us have certain lives. I mean, Egypt is a one for me for sure, and Greek. So this is a good life for you. This is probably where your body tuning table came into. This is where you probably started thinking about that, and you're remembering that memory, or you're remembering. I'm saying it right. 'Cause she always corrects me on that, which I love, which is the perfect way. But this is where it's stemming from. This is confirmation that you again are on the right path. This life for you, this is where you stopped right before that body tuning table could really explode in that lifetime. So this is where you're picking up right now. So the yellow, that showed me your happiness. Okay, so let's one more. We'll do one more of this card, and then we'll go to your favorite deck, the Ascended Masters. Let's see.
Oh,
You got another jumper.
Another jumper. What does it say?
galactic. Ooh.
Okay.
He's always talking to me about the galactic. He's into the
Galactic.
galactic. He'd be telling me about some asteroid that they working on now that's worth billions and trillions of dollars that I don't know about.
Quintillion.
Huh?
Quintillion, like
Quintillion
25
dollars
quintillion.
that's going to save the Earth, save the free.
So I didn't even have to do that reading part. I just answered that self. But what it did come up to this is that your spirit guides are coming through many, many dimensions, many, many galactic theories to bring this life to you so that you are on the right path. So they are actually, what you're downloading is actually all of your spirit guides, all of your past lives, all of your memories, you are now downloading because of, number one, you've been in that frequency for so long that you are now becoming more, you're expanding. You're becoming wider. Your connection to, you're now in the 100th probably dimension that you're seeking. So this idea is keep going with it. Don't get distracted. Don't veer off your path. Don't let other things distract you. You stand in your ground. You know what you're supposed to be doing, so you stay on that path. That's what they're asking for you to do. And Asia has a lot of discipline. Has a lot that life is a lot of discipline. So discipline yourself to make this life come true. And I think in your past life, that's where this is coming up, because you didn't have the discipline. Something distracted you in your past life to where you stopped doing that. So whether it be extracurricular activities or other souls, other people, recognize that right now and say, okay, nope, this is where I could have been huge in this lifetime because of this. So stay in your path, stay on that venture that you're going on right now. And man, like I said, you're going to blow up. I told you that the last time. You're definitely going to blow up. You've got big things coming to you. So believe in that and trust in that and trust in your own tuition that you know what your path is. Okay?
Gonna heal the water, brother.
That makes
right.
sense. That makes a lot of sense because Galactic has come up in the past two tunings where people have told me that the device was galactic, or they said it's from another planet, another dimension. It's just something that's not of the normal, and that makes sense. And I also know what you're talking about with distractions. And distractions can make me or break me.
I love that laugh.
And that's
So they
strikes
literally
home.
just told me, Enchanted Raven and Serena Serafina just told me that those bodies that you were tuning were actually souls of your past lives coming in to tell you, don't get distracted. The galactic part of it was saying, hey, listen, you got to stay connected. That is a word for you. Whenever you hear that, you got to snap back and say, okay, what's distracting me? Or am I still on this right path? So they're giving you clues as to stay on that path. Okay? So whenever you hear that, whenever you see that, whenever aliens, anything that has to do with that, that means there's going to be another download, there's another message, there's something coming in for that, for you, for that specific reason. Your third and final card, you need to choose peace. I feel like you're fighting with yourself. Again, does Jesus need to come back into the house?
Now you got yoga on down
I mean,
there.
you've got two major arcanas right here, and for me, that's in this deck. That's what it is that you need to choose peace. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Don't worry about what other people are thinking of you. Don't stop that inner conflict. Stop that inner fighting. You've got this. You know you've got this. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know the ideas. Stop telling them, no, that's not going to work, because I know that's what you're doing. Don't do that. Don't down yourself anymore. Choose your inner peace. And I say inner peace because your outer peace, you know that you can trust that. The inner peace is what's hurting. So I know you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Oh, and at the bottom we have Moses. So, and what is it? Take charge of that situation.
I've heard that a
that's
couple
Mama
times.
again.
I've heard that a couple times.
Yeah, I think that's Mama again. So take charge of the situation and really start looking at your surroundings. Okay. Start looking at your surroundings and start looking and listening for opportunities, especially in dwellings, living dwellings. You'll hear the word galactic, and that's something for you to check into. Okay.
Anything y'all ladies would like to add?
Thank you.
So as she was telling, I feel like you're at a point where there is opportunity for you from the universe, right? People coming that might have the money, they might have the opportunity to bring your beauty of your gift of this tuning bed into a greater fruition. And you can't listen to the outside chatter, because your focus needs to be on, do you want to bring this to the world? And if it's I want to bring it to the world, then that becomes the focus. And when people step in and say, hey, I'd like to invest, or hey, I'd like to offer up this container, or hey, I'd like to, it's got to be a yes. Just keep saying yes, because as the universe is hearing what you're asking for, it's dropping your gifts on your path.
Yes.
And if you say no, then it's kind of like, it's the parable of the flood, right? Flood's rising, and a person comes by in a boat and says, "Get on in." They say, "No, Lord will provide." And then it keeps rising. They get up on the roof, and another boat comes by, and then finally a helicopter, and they're like, "No, no, no. I'm fine. I'm waiting for the Lord to give me a sign," right? They drown, and then the Lord says, "I sent you a boat. I sent you another boat and a helicopter," right? I'm going to provide. You just have to be in that yes space.
Yes.
So just kind of keep that open and see what happens.
And once you're in that yes space, that's what's going to give you the peace.
Yes.
Yes.
The peace comes through the yes.
And that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
total sense
The
because
peace
it's
comes with the yes.
yeah. Because I've always
Because-
had this fear of
Yeah.
you know who do I trust and
Trust
all the
You.
trust thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're connected to the source. And like she
Right.
said, it's all falling. It's all falling. Just say yes. And that's the peace.
And let your heart touch their heart. And if it's a
Yes.
heart connection, then it's maybe a little bit bigger yes than someone that is just kind of like, "Look, I got so much money. I've done so many things. I'm so amazing. And in my ego, and I'm going to make you
Exactly.
something." That's when you're just like, I'm looking for the heart connection.
And that's exactly correct.
that's-
Because I've always have said that I don't care how much money someone can say and say I want this, and then if they just see dollar signs and they're not on the same vision, on the same page of helping humanity,
Yes.
helping
Exactly.
every
Yeah.
individual. Because the only thing that really
Exactly.
matters in this dimension, bar none, nothing else can top helping each other.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
There's
it.
nothing that's more important.
Completely.
And if they're not on that same page, then I don't care about your money. I really
Right.
don't.
Right.
Right.
I'll be all right.
That's
Right.
it.
Because all money is not good money.
And
Right.
thank you.
Gotta
Thank
have
you.
the heart, the love has to be in there.
Yes. Yes.
The love has to be in
The
there.
love
And
is
you
the true
can't
frequency.
miss what you're supposed to have. You
Yes.
can't miss it. It's not like, "Oh, I was looking over there when my ship came in." Right? If it's there, your ship's going to start circling you until
Right.
you like go, "My ship is here." Right? You can't miss what's meant to be yours. So it's not like you're going to screw it up.
Right.
It's always perfect.
Makes
Truly.
sense.
And every time you see your bed, all I can think of is, "I hope so many people get on this bed. It'll be so awesome." I'm never thinking about how much it would be or what
Right.
the money aspect.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just what a great tool.
It's such a
She
wonderful.
heard about the
that's-
bed, and this is the first
I
time y'all ever
did.
crossed paths.
I heard about the bed.
That's what I'm
like
telling
someone
you.
said, "There's this
Yeah.
guy, and he gets under this bed and he does this thing, and it was so awesome."
See?
Yeah.
It's so amazing. I mean, that it's so amazing.
I want one,
You-
and
I
I've
do
never
too.
even seen
Right,
it.
right.
I mean, it might be to the point where we might have it in the households. I mean, it might be
Yeah.
a household
No,
name.
it has to be.
It will be.
When
It
y'all
need-
it has-
school
it
showed
needs to
me,
be.
I was like, "Oh, I have to have one of these in my home."
Right, right.
I think about schools. Little kid goes with a sick tummy to the nurse, and she's like, "Get on the bed."
Right.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Right.
And he's like,
Exactly.
I can
kid's
go back
gonna-
to school now.
Right,
Thank you.
right. That kid's gonna go back to class and be like, "I'm ready."
Break up all that negativity in
Right,
your body.
right.
You don't need it.
Right. So stay on it.
Yeah.
You have to.
We're excited
we need
for
you.
you.
We
Yes,
need you.
yes.
Humanity needs you.
Yes.
And that's what I'm here
Alright.
for. I'm here to be a
Awesome.
Jay, I don't
servant.
think we have time for
We
you.
got 8 minutes. 7 minutes.
7
We
minutes?
do a quick read.
Quick,
do a
quick.
7 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll give you a quick.
Since Jay's connection and how we met, well, how we connected, kind of, sort of.
The
is
butterflies.
the
I told him out outside. In the first, I'm gonna tell you the connection I had with his nephew. Real quick, while you getting that together, and I've said this on the podcast. My butterfly is the white peacock, but his nephew, his butterfly was the monarch. So for about a month, his nephew, he was like, "Man, I can't." He's like, "I can't get close to the monarchs." He's like, "I go outside, but I can't get close to him." So long story short, I went over his house, and within like 10 minutes, and he was trying to. He couldn't even get close enough to a monarch to take a picture with. By the time our energies connected and we got together, a monarch flew in the palm of his hands within 10 minutes. And guess what card she pulled? The
power
first
of
tarot.
two.
The first card she ever pulled in a tarot reading was the monarch butterfly card.
That's awesome. See, you can't make this stuff up.
No.
Self-care. It popped out.
Ah.
Self-care.
That's that one. Self-care. I actually 3 popped out immediately for you. So the first one that popped out was self-employment, which
That's me.
and then leaving. So aren't you going on?
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay,
I'm
so
flying out.
there's an opportunity right here. So where you are, the self-employment. I know that you're already self-employed, but there's going to be an opportunity for this to even further. Because you said in October you're waiting for your ships to come in. So that's where this is confirming it, but also pay attention to the signs around it and self-care. You know what this means. Always self-care. He always
Always.
gets that. He always gets
He
that.
knows
So
what it means.
I don't know why I'm single, man. Can't get better self-care. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I do need to get in a relationship and get some extra
maybe
love.
share yourself a little bit.
I'm particular about who I share my energy
Hey,
with,
I know.
especially sacral energy.
I know. Listen, I know all about that. Trust
There's
me.
too many energy vampires in the world right now.
Oh, gosh, they're everywhere. But that's what we're here to clear out. That's what we're here to bring to light. And, you know, not just because when they're doing that, it also means that they're hurting it too. So we can't really show them any kind of negativity. We have to kind of invite them in, and we have to kind of say, hey, you know what? I forgive you for doing that or performing that act or saying that thing to me. However, I'm not going to hold on to that. Self-forgiveness, I'm going to let that go, because when you're forgiving somebody, you're actually letting go of the hot iron that you're holding in your hand, because that's what anger is. That's what, you know. So a lot of that has to do with, you know, self-forgiveness, forgiving yourself for making those actions, forgiving yourself for thinking of that particular person. So start with yourself, and self-forgiveness is the key. And then love on yourself.
Love on myself.
Always.
Are we talking about the orgasmic me? Something like
That's
that?
right.
Always,
That's right.
always.
Why do we always end up on a sexual note at the end of these podcasts? But
That's
anyway,
how it's spiritual
I
awakening.
mean, but that's. I mean, what? Love making is always in the making. Love is always in the making.
Love is always in the making. I
Love
love
is
that.
always in the making. We're always love making.
any everybody, we're gonna final closing words as we wrap up episode number 9.
I just
Number
want
9.
I want her to say the decks that she has
Okay.
for the people who are listening and watching, and then I can show the books that we have. So things you may want to get. Just
Okay.
Now, can you think you would find some of these books like in the average library, or
I
these you got to
found
order?
them in Goodwill.
Some of them,
I found-
oh yeah,
Mhm.
definitely
Yeah.
the thrift stores.
Mhm.
You can go online, eBay, Amazon. eBay is my favorite fun spot to shop.
have to
But
try
I
that.
love the thrift, the bookstore here. I found a lot of great tarot books at the thrift store, the Goodwill book thrift store, because it's a thrift store just for books.
Yes.
Right over on McGregor, like right around the corner from here, right up the street.
I'm gonna have to
Gotcha.
check that
Yeah.
out.
So,
Ooh.
so yes, but share the decks that you have.
Okay, so I have The Ascended Masters by Doreen Virtue.
Real quick, while you're on Ascended Masters, I posted something today. How many Ascended Masters do you think there is? I've heard 18. I can only name like 5.
Oh, in this one there's
No, just in
44.
general. How many Ascended
in
Masters
general?
do you think there are?
That infinity. I mean, there's
How many do you
souls
think
upon
there is?
souls.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Some
basically, Ascended Master is just a person who's lived their life in such a way that they've reached a vibrational harmony with a certain level.
yeah, they're in,
And
they're
when
in
they've done that,
alignment.
it's kind of like they're given you are now a master.
right.
Right? And
Yeah.
so some ascend leaving their body and some ascend with their body.
Right.
So,
And some
so this is why you kind of can't say it's just a few.
Yeah.
There's a,
yeah, these are
It's a
those may
huge
be
lot of
recognized ascended
Exactly.
masters,
Yeah.
And a
but
lot of the
yeah.
masters reincarnate as well. So a lot of the children that are being born have that ascended master's soul in them, or have been reborn. I mean, it's look it up. It's been the prodigies. Even just in your daily life, look at the children. Yona's son
Exactly.
has a lot of ascended master's qualities to him. So it might not be one that we, like she said, that we recognize. So it might be, down a lifetime that we say, oh yeah, he's got it. So
But I love that you said 18, that divine 9.
Hey!
It's the divine 9.
Again, you
Pay
hit
attention
me
to
back
those
to back.
numbers. Pay attention to those numbers. So
Oh,
even-
I pay attention all
yeah.
day. I get
Yeah, so but it's-
synchronicities
but
and
it's that
angel numbers. I
divine
just
9.
had 333 on the way here. That's that's the Ascended Masters number. That's another reason why I probably asked
Then
you.
that's
Yeah.
the divine 9.
Yes, exactly. They want to be seen, heard, and recognized as well.
shout out
Okay,
to the
so I have the
bastards.
past life with Doreen Virtue. I have Archangel Michael, which I'm very surprised. He has been very quiet. Usually he's boisterous. He does not. Well, no, he came out first. You're on the right path. Archangel Michael. And then I have the Butterflies by Doreen Virtue. And my 2 newest decks, which I'm still really working with, but I'm loving them, is The Native Spirit by Denise Lynn. Very ancient, very profound, and straight, blunt, right to the point. I love that deck, which is, the message is very clear. And then this one took me a little bit. This is kind of like my most terrorish if that's a word, tarot card or deck. But this is all about that feminine energy.
The
which is
mythical
Mythical
goddess.
mythical
Tarot.
goddess.
I know you
yes.
resonate with
Yes.
that with
That's a
Goddess
beautiful-
I Am.
Yes.
Beautiful deck.
And Hannah. Well, the goddess is rising in everybody right now.
Very
Always.
much.
I mean, she is.
Always.
This is why Me Too took off. This is why those sex rings are getting busted because the goddess is rising.
Oh,
The
yeah.
divine feminine is,
Yeah.
and she's
It's-
pissed, right? She's ready for us to kind of get
Yeah, it's,
back
it's,
into.
it's
a
time
good
for some
place,
balance. It's
right?
time for some, yeah.
So we're working on it.
You gonna announce all
So
your
the
books,
books,
Rashimba?
just that I recommend it. There's a plethora, but we have How to Read the Tarot,
Thank
the
you.
keyword system.
Thank you.
We have the pictorial key for the tarot.
I've seen that book before.
I love the tarot workbooks because it gives you exercises to really become intimate with the tarot. So this is the tarot workbook. We have numerology key to the tarot because everything is connected with the numbers. We have the tarot and the Kabbalah.
I know Yona would like that.
This is the medicine card
I
book,
love the
and I
medicine
have the
cards.
medicine card deck. I love the medicine. Oh,
What's the medicine card? But I never heard of that before.
oh
Those are
wow!
animals.
These are animal spirits.
All like
Yeah,
animal
helpers,
spirits.
Yeah.
Okay, I've
the
seen a couple tarot
all
readers
of
use
the
those.
attributes and qualities. One of my most favorite decks is the Mother Peace Tarot. I absolutely adore it. It's beautiful. It's very all about the goddess, all about the feminine. I love the fact that
course.
they.
I'd have it no other way, would we, Mike?
Exactly.
I love that they are in the circle. It's
Yes.
the womb. It's the circle of life. And
The Wombniverse. The
Wombniverse.
Wombniverse. She has a new word every podcast.
Yes,
I swear.
yes, yes.
Every podcast.
So this is definitely one of my highly loved decks, the Mother Piece. So I have the Mother Piece. You got the book. You got the rituals and practices with the Mother Piece, and then there's also the Mother Piece Tarot Playbook. So
Jeez.
it's like it's
There's
It's a whole
plenty.
teaching.
it's a whole teaching. Then
There's
you got
plenty.
Living the Tarot. This is an excellent book, and then you have Understanding and Using the Tarot. So,
I like the fact that you doing it the right way. 'cause
Right.
I've never seen nobody bring these books out like that. Like I've
Right.
never seen a reader on YouTube. They just
You're right.
go. Most of them don't even show the cards. Like they don't show them pulling the cards.
Right.
I hate readers who already have like
The cards set
the
up.
cards already
Yeah.
set up. That's
Yeah.
an instant sign for
It's not
me. Like
organic
nope,
for me,
next.
right.
All right, Beth, our one of three of our guests. I'll let you. You gotta tell people the address of where Goddess I Am. That's one thing.
Okay.
Everything else is on you.
So Goddess I Am is at 600 Goodlet. We're near downtown Naples. We have 2,400 square feet. So we have a temple in the back of our store.
A
with
temple?
view- Yes, my friend. With a big vortex. So if you want to come get healing, this is what we do. We are a crystal shop. We have all kinds. We have clothes.
That's where
we
I got
have-
my crystals from.
That's right. We have jewelry, tons and tons of jewelry. We're just all kinds of
Got
fun.
my chakra necklace
That's
from there.
it. And we're all we're all wise women. We all have it, and we've got some wise men too.
I
We've got
did
some
see you got
wizards.
some guys on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Some wizards.
We got to get the balance. right?
Yes, yes.
So
you know,
we
I'm
gotta
all
bring
for
in
that.
the men. Well, I mean, it's not just about the women. It's got to be
Yeah.
a balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Because
the
men have
hierogamos.
feminine sides to them too, and that's what's rising in our men's
Yes.
now.
Well, we're
I
all
think of it-
masculine and feminine.
Yes, exactly. And I always think of them as gentlemen. Like y'all are in
Yes.
the gentlemen as
Yes.
opposed to
Yes.
the other kind of men.
Yes.
I
And
think my
that's okay.
What's the tell people the hours of operation that you're over so they
we're
come by
open
the store.
7 days a week. We have readers every day. If you go on goddessiam.com or Goddess I Am on Facebook or Goddess I Am Naples on Instagram, you can find us. Let's see, different hours. So we open at 11 every day except for Sunday, and we close either at 5 or 6 pretty much every day. So
You got
Sunday-
live tarot readers there.
We've got tarot, mediumship. We've got a shamanic work. We've got theta healing.
Theta healing.
Theta healing. We've got
Gotta explain that. We have to hold that for the next podcast because we're running short on
we've got
time.
all kinds of good stuff, and
I see it.
we'll steer you to whoever is the most appropriate for you if you're just curious, or if you have certain needs, we'll hook you up.
All right, give out the phone number one more time.
Okay, so it's 239-228-6949. 239-228-6949.
Love it.
little jingle.
And I'm gonna say this one last time. We will eventually record a podcast episode from the
Yes,
Goddess I Am
please.
Yes.
Yes.
because we got to get to Naples. We've been to
We'll bring you
Bonita.
in the temple.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There, and you can show me
We're
what
bringing you in
the other
temple.
healing that you
That's
just
it.
mentioned.
Yes. For sure.
Closing words, Brother Mike.
The closing words that I have for everyone is just love yourself, and the rest will follow.
Yes.
Short and to the point.
That's facts.
Awesome.
All I can say is y'all enjoy this new moon.
Yes.
New moon, right?
It's the new moon.
New moon.
New moon in Scorpio.
moon, yes.
Halloween. I don't do Halloween. I don't dwell with the negative spirits and the foolery. But anyway, just be safe. Mercury retrograde. Be safe. Guarantees some craziness is going to happen to you well, those of us who are electronically charged.
But also, it's a time to focus on how you communicate with others. So be gentle with what you're saying, and be gentle with how you're saying with it.
think before you speak.
Yes.
Sign no contracts.
Yes.
No contracts, except for your new moon abundance contract.
There you go. There you go. Come to my Spirit Festival on Saturday, Unity of Naples, 10 to 4.
There you
Love
go.
it.
So next time you see us, it'll be episode 10. So if you know episode 10 means, that's well, it depends if it's 10 of cups or 10 of swords. It can mean two different things.
You know that out there, yeah.
That's it. We out of here. God bless y'all. Say
Everyone, thank you.
namaste, 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 namaste.
Stay divine.
Thank you so much for making me feel so welcome.